everybody, this is Laurie, and this is month 2 of $5 Quilt. And as I told you, we're starting slow. The complexity will ramp up here pretty soon. But this is this month's block. It's very, very similar to last month's. There's a few little changes. This one actually is a true 9 patch, so all of the squares will measure 4.5 inches. And these two things are rail fences, but other than that, things are pretty much the same. This is the speckled version, super fun. This one is Tula, can you tell? It's good and bright. And then this one is our Desert Sage. And so isn't that pretty, all those low volume colors together? I think they're all really super fun. So this first video, I'm going to show you how to cut, because everybody seems to like when I do a cutting video. And then the assembly video will be pretty quick too, because we've pretty much already done it. Now in your instructions, this is the one for Tula. Again, I've colored them to the fabric that you have in your kit. If you notice, color 1 and color 2 are cut exactly the same way. So here's the deal. You can power cut and by putting them on top of each other and cutting both of them at the same time. The good news is it gets you done faster. The bad news is if you make a mistake on both pieces, not just one. But I like to power cut, so I put them together. Okay, notice that the 8-inch is going this way and the 11-inch direction is going that way. All right, so in the instructions, the first column is 4.5-inch cut and then a 2.5-inch cut. So remember last month we talked a lot about clean cutting an edge. I'm going to take my ruler and I'm just going to clean cut an edge. I'm not lining up to anything, I'm just getting a straight edge. And then I'm flipping it around because I am right-handed, and I'm going to find the 4.5-inch line. Again, the 4.5, the halves are going to be the black circles that you can read, and the whites will be the full numbers. So there's my 4.5. I'm going to lay it down so that 4.5-inch line is right on the edge, and I'm going to make that cut. Now my next cut is 2.5 inches. So I can just put this right back down. I've got my 2.5 on the edge. I can cut that. That all is extra. And now you have your 4.5-inch strip and your 2.5-inch strip. The 2.5-inch strips, we're going to strip piece again, so we're going to set those aside. And the 4.5, we're going to flip it on its side. And now it says we have to cut 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here, 2.5 inch by 4.5 inch. Well, this already measures 4.5, so we need to cut 4 2.5-inch pieces. So now I'm going to clean cut an edge, but this time I want to make sure that I am level on both sides, because I have 2 sides I have to measure against. And I'm going to clean cut that. Then I'm going to flip this around, and I'm going to find my 2.5. And now I am going to make sure I'm straight on the bottom, the side, and the top. And there's a 2.5. There's a lot of glare in here. 2.5.
We're good on this side.
All right.
Probably darkly from above.
Okay. 2.5 and one more. And if you get to the point where you can't make them straight, don't be afraid to flip it over and re-clean cut an edge to get it straight. But there's our 4 2.5 by 4.5s, and we did both colors at the same time, which makes life a little easier, right? So everything's done at once. So color 1 and 2 are already cut for us. So that's pretty awesome, right? So I'm going to put those over there. Then our last color, our light color, we have a strip and we have a square. Okay, so on our strip we have to cut it down to 4.5 inches. So again, and usually we don't do this. We actually accidentally caught a little piece of the selvage here, so I'm going to clean cut this side and get rid of that selvage. You've got plenty of fabric, so not a problem, but we try to get those cut off before we cut our kits. And then we need a 4.5, right? So there's 4.5. I'm gonna make sure that that's all lined up. And then I'm gonna cut this side. So now it's 4.5 inches wide and we need 4 2.5-inch pieces. So I'm gonna clean cut again, making sure that's all lined up. And now I'm gonna start measuring my 2.5s. All right, 2.5. Isn't this fabric fun?
I love this one.
It's just so happy. And it's so many pretty colors. It goes with everything. And if you get lucky when you're cutting, sometimes you get full pieces of birds. It's just a fun fabric to have. Okay, so all my extra. So now I have these 4. So that was easy. Now, I have to make this a 4.5-inch square. Normally I would have my square ruler in here and I would do 2 sides at a time, but I didn't bring it, so I'm going to show you, if you don't have a square ruler, how you would do this. And so I'm going to just clean cut one edge, right? Now the square has to be 4.5 inches, so I'm going to take that and I'm going to find my 4.5 and I'm going to measure over 4.5 inches and cut the other side. Okay, now I got 4.5 in both directions. I'm going to line this up, make sure that I've got 4.5 lined up top and bottom, and I'm going to clean cut this side, and now I'm going to line up 3 sides. So I have 4.5, 4.5, 4.5. Look at that. Perfect. Cut that, and I have a 4.5-inch square. It's easier with a square ruler, but it can be done with a rectangular ruler, no problem. Okay. So that's all your cut pieces. And so our next video, we're going to show you how to put it all together.